switch their mindset to a growth mindset and seeing the big picture and that how you can evolve over time with it and just posting and not caring what people think.
Welcome to the Hollywood Dance Experience podcast, bringing you informational insight as well as valuable knowledge, how to assist your dancers in our industry.
I am joined by Miss Julie Froman, and we have the fabulous Kristin Farina here with us today.
Hello.
Let's provide a little backstory. So Kristin Farina used to work for Car Productions.
Yep.
That's how we met. We were the Kristins on our team.
That's us. It was very confusing.
It was confusing, but we had the best time.
Besties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it like being invited back summer after summer to the Hollywood Dance Experience?
Yeah, I absolutely love this company. It's crazy how long I've been with you guys. Probably like 8 or 9 years now. So I started right when I was 18 and got involved with the company. I think, should I just kind of go from the beginning, give the rundown of my story, and we can kind of just feed off that? Yeah. So, hi, I'm Kristin. Start over. I'm Kristin. I started off as a competition studio kid. I grew up in Wisconsin, super, super small town. Woo woo, Midwest, let's go. Don't you know? Oh, sorry. Oh, geez. No, I'm a Valley girl now. So I grew up in Wisconsin. I was a studio competition kid. Started at one studio when I was 15. I switched to another studio because I was kind of just trained in ballet, tap, jazz, the basics. And then I wanted to get more into contemporary other styles. So I switched studios when I was 15. Went on that whole journey. I would compete at Rainbow, so I met some of the backstage people. The staff was super awesome. Then when I was 18 years old, I skipped college. I wanted to go to college, but it didn't work out in my plans, so I had to choose what I was going to do with my life. The one thing I always loved was dancing. So I moved to Los Angeles at 18, and I had absolutely no clue what I was doing, but I was fortunate enough with the connections that I made as a kid that people helped me get an agent. So it took me 2.5 years to book a real job in Los Angeles. I was sleeping on an air mattress for like 2 years. It was a struggle. But I needed money, so I started working at Car. And I started as a media person. And then I kind of made my own journey with them because I realized they weren't doing anything with their social media. Now, 5 years later, they're absolutely killing it. Julie kills it. We have a whole media team. But back then, social media was kind of new, and I was like, hey, guys, if you want the company to be better and to, like, expand more, we should do social media stuff, show the kids, show what goes on behind the scenes, not just the routines that you get on your little flash drive. So I booked that. They booked me as that job. They brought me to Australia. I kind of made my own path with that. So I feel like that's the beginning of where social media happened. Then I worked for them for a couple of years. My career started to pick up. I got that first job, and it just spiraled from there. Started dancing professionally. I was on World of Dance Season 3 from World of Dance. Hey, okay, come on. Even though it got discontinued. And then from there, J-Lo's team saw me, and I got hired by J-Lo and started dancing for J-Lo. And then from there, it was Chris Brown. We were in these exact studios. Then everything shut down. And I was like, oh no, COVID, quarantine. What am I going to do? The entire industry was shut down. I had to find a way to make money, right? I'm an adult now. I wanted to still be out here, but there was no work that I had. So that's when I transitioned into social media. I had a lot of friends do social media. I always tell this story. There was one kid, he wanted to move out here. He's a beatboxer, you know, boo-boo-cha. But I'm not a beatboxer. But he was really good at it. And he slept on my couch for 2 weeks. I was like, hey, man, you want to move to LA? Sleep on my couch. I'm going to introduce you to every single person I know, whether it's dancers, because it's all combined, right? Talent. He slept on my couch. He had no money. 6 months later, he started posting on social media. He has over 50 million followers on TikTok. He became a multimillionaire. He went from sleeping on my couch to being a multimillionaire in 6 months. And I was like, wait a second. I was like, okay, we found the cheat code here. So everything shut down. I started posting on social media. I obviously used my dance stuff to my advantage. TikTok was getting really big with the little dances. Even though they were kind of cheesy, I'd add my own flair to them, the actual talent behind it, versus just like regular kids doing it. And I got my first viral video of 20 million views. And I was like, hey. So I posted every single day for 2 months straight, and I gained over 1 million followers just in those 2 months. And I didn't know it, but with the industry shut down, all my time going into that, I started making more money than I ever did when I was a dancer. Sometimes dance jobs don't pay that much. I started getting more opportunities. My agent started reaching out. They saw what I was doing. They're like, hey, what's this social media stuff? So then they started booking me with brands, with artists to choreograph little TikTok dances, to do brand deals, to incorporate that. So I started making a bunch of money. It really got my name out there. And then the opportunities just came from that. Then everything opened up again. I obviously started dancing more professionally, but kept the social media stuff going because it showed a different audience what my life was like. So not only was I doing little dances, I was vlogging, showing the process. Here's how I'm creating it. Oh, I have a job out of the country. Here's what I'm doing on that job. It really, really benefited me in more ways than I thought it ever could. And now social media is so prominent in today's day and age. You know, back in the day, when agents would get you a job, casting directors were looking for you, you'd either audition in person, you'd give your headshot, you'd give your piece of paper with your resume on it, and that's it. Nowadays, agents, casting directors are like, agents, who do you got? They send social media profiles. So you have to make sure, whether you're a kid or an adult, you have to make sure your social media is representing you well, because that's what they're sending as your digital resume, I like to call it. I'll take a breather if you wanna.
No, this is like really good information for the parents because they had a lot of questions about social media and how to be posting. Should they be monitoring their children's accounts? What kind of stuff is okay to post, not to post? The cancel culture, like all of
Canceled.
that stuff. So like, you can keep going.
Yeah. So social media is very important, whether you like it or not. I know some people are like, nah, it's not safe for kids. They don't really love it. Reality is, it's a part of the industry now. Everything is social media. Look at us right now. This is being filmed to be put on social media. It's not going away anytime soon. We have AI, ChatGPT. It's getting crazy, the digital world that's happening. So there's kind of no escaping it. That's why I would say learn sooner than later. When I teach on convention, I have a class with the kids, which is a film-based class, and I talk about how important it is for them to be posting. Of course, if you're a parent and you have a younger child, monitor it, but I think it's important for them to start figuring it out. We have the iPad kid generation, so they're pretty smart with it. A lot of kids love it. It's just about putting the right stuff up. So we have our social media platforms, right? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube are the main ones. Then we have other things, you know, there's Be Real, there's Threads now, there's Twitter, there's Facebook. So many, it's hard to keep up with, but Instagram is going to be your main one. That's most important that's what agents are going to send as your digital resume. So I always say have your most professional stuff on your Instagram. For kids, I'd have them post, you know, if they get professional headshots or professional photos, have some of those in there. If they're taking class, post those class videos. If they're at convention, post those videos. If they're doing solos at competition, clips from that. Really showcasing who they are as a dancer and the talent that they have. You'd be surprised, even as children, someone could see a video and hire your dancer for kid-related stuff. They could be flown out to LA, get an actual job through it. So there's so much opportunity, and what I love about social media is back in the day, right, I'm dancing, I'm in class, people are like, ooh, I like her, that's how you get booked. Now you have an infinite audience that if your video does well, that you can inspire and impact around the world. And that's why I think is so important about it. Sorry about that. Don't know what that is. Hollywood dance experience. But yeah, Instagram's most important. I love the little highlights on Instagram because that's where you can really put jobs you've done, convention classes, professional photos. You can kind of list out everything that you would want if someone's looking at your child's profile, what you'd want to represent them as. If they have other skills as well, acting, singing, sports, gymnastics, really just showcasing everything. I also think it's important for kids to kind of have that creative freedom. If they want to start choreographing, have them make like a little concept video with their friends. They're always at the studio. It's a really great way to transition into choreographing and understanding film. Nowadays, almost every class is filmed. You got to get used to it. So also them learning how to be in front of the camera, how to perform, how to connect with an audience and someone on the other side of the screen is super important. So Instagram would be my number one. TikTok is the best one to gain exposure and go viral, even though it's getting a little bit more saturated. The algorithm on TikTok allows random people to go viral at different times. So I think the most important part about TikTok is consistency. It doesn't have to be as professional as Instagram. Have your kids go on there, learn dances, and also have them showcase their talent. So that's what worked for me, is doing a TikTok dance, but also putting real dance into there, and that's what created the virality of it. Still showcasing the talent that your kids have, but more in a fun format. That's also teaching them to pick up choreography by learning through video and trying to reverse it. Again, how to perform, how to post, and engage. Then we have YouTube. YouTube is long form content, right? This can go all the way up to an hour video if you really wanted to, but you can post your full competition clips on there, your full solo. I think those are great. Group dances, that kind of stuff. I used YouTube as vlogging and for people to see the side of my personal life. That obviously varies a little with younger kids, what they'd want to post on there. But even, for example, your kid, you teach them how to use their phone, they're filming, hey, I'm at Hollywood Dance Experience. Oh my gosh, we're starting with musical theater today. I love this class. Post a pic of a video of the class. Okay, now we're on lunch break. Hey, me and my friends made up this dance. Like they can vlog in that style. There's ways to incorporate dance within YouTube, and YouTube can also be monetized no matter what age you are. So that's another way for your kids to actually start making money. Do we have any questions while we're in this? I don't want to give too much. Any questions at all?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, what should we avoid posting? Like too many pictures of like vacations, or how much personal life do you want to balance with an Instagram?
Yeah, so it really depends what you want. I wouldn't do too many of like, here's my lunch. Oh, here's my dog. Here's a random sunset pic. Yeah, you can post those. I save a lot of that type of stuff for my stories. Stories are a great way to show your everyday life and the things that matter to you, your family, your friends, having fun with that. That's more nonchalant. So I keep that stuff more on story based and then have the feed a little bit more professional. You can still post stuff like that, just don't have your entire thing saturated. I always look, now Instagram's great because you can pin things. So the things that I've pinned, you can pin a headshot, you can pin your favorite dance video that showcases your talent, you can pin a job or an opportunity that you did. Having those 3 pins be something that if someone was looking at your profile really describes as a whole what your dancer's about. And then everything under there, you can post whatever you want. I always check in on my 9 boxes because they're not going to scroll all the way down, right? And then that's also why highlights are important, to just have everything right at the top right there. In bios, having your full name, again, parents, it really depends on your parenting, what you want to have on there for your kids. Having some sort of contact, whether it's like a parent's email, if your kid has an agent or a manager, their information is super important. Just giving everything you can on Instagram, that if someone would want your kid for a job or to connect with them, it's right there. They don't have to go searching, because if they can't find it, they'll be like, okay, let's move on to the next kid. Yeah. Anything else? Yes, of course.
Instagram. She has an Instagram account, but she never updates it. So will that hinder her career as a dancer? To not have any social media, or like, what are your thoughts?
Yes and no. Bottom line, if you're talented, you're talented, right? If someone sees you somewhere and you're talented, they're going to want to hire you. The problem is if people don't know who you are and you're not in front of them face to face, how are they going to find the dancer? You know, that's where the impact of the big audience that you can reach is important.
I think
Sorry.
another thing too, we had the lady who owned the who worked for the marketing company, and she said something as simple as like, if I took Kristin's class and then I go comment on Kristin's Instagram like, thank you so much for class today, that was amazing, and then Kristin was like, clicked on my profile and was like, oh my gosh, I remember her, she was so good, I wanted to reach out to her, like, or oh, maybe I should like have her guest another class or come assist or something, you know. So even if you don't update it a lot, I feel like it is still really important to at least be active and engage on there, so then you get your face out there, you get your connections, because the industry is a lot of connection based.
Yep.
So like she's saying, if there's other people who are connecting on Instagram and they find other people, it's not, you don't want to hear it, but like you're gonna get almost lost or forgotten, because like she said, they're just gonna move on to someone else. They can find their Instagram, they can find their email, and then they're booked. They don't have to go searching, they don't have to try and find an agency that they belong to. It's easier to just find.
Yeah, that's a really important one, especially the networking. My entire career, if the number one thing that I did right was networking and connecting with people. When I was a kid, connecting with the kids I would meet at different studios, at conventions, same thing, messaging the teachers, thank you so much for class, really putting my name into their brain, because, I mean, you go to convention once a year. Yeah, once a year is cool, but you can constantly keep that connection, not only with your peers, but also with the teachers. I notice it, the kids that reach out to me, the kids that are always like replying to stories or messaging me, I remember them. I see a kid once, I'm like, you're great, it slips past my mind, right? So I think that's important too. Also, I like to treat social media as a job. I changed my mindset a little bit more with that. So even though she doesn't really want to post on social media, or it's not her thing, just put in the work to get some good stuff up there, and then you don't have to want to get millions of followers, right? It'll help you in the future, but just making sure there's some good stuff on there, and then I think it's important to engage most of all. Say thank you, reach out, stay connected with kids. The kids they're taking class with now, who knows? I was a kid like that. One day those kids will become choreographers or teachers or creative directors and can provide opportunity from there. So the more that your kids can connect with other people, the better it's going to be in the long-term game. Any questions? Yes.
Like when posting on like Instagram, it's like the hashtags that do you do like a lot of hashtagging?
Yeah, so I get this one a lot. I have never been a super hashtag type of person. Some people say it works, some people say it doesn't. You can put hashtags, but I wouldn't have it saturate what the caption is. So you can either like put a couple dots and then put some hashtags below, or just in the comment section, add your hashtags. There's a rule of thumb with it that half your hashtags, you want them to be, so let's say I do hashtag dance. There's going to be millions of videos that pop up for that. So you can do a couple really vague hashtags, but also you want to get specific. So if I did Hollywood Dance Experience 2023, now the kids, when they click on that, they can see all their friends. Oh, I remember her from class. Let me connect and message it. So I think hashtags actually help, but just not too much. Yeah? Any other questions? Yes.
Is it to, like, as far as like your number of followers, what is it, following and followers? I always notice that those that are, like, have a lot of followers, they have a lot less that they're following. How, do anybody ever pay attention to those numbers, or is it important not to have as many?
Yeah, I don't think who you're following really matters. They don't look at that. I could say that followers don't matter, but it does. Is as bad as it is, if you have a casting director right now and I'm hiring for a TV show or a job and I have one dancer that is verified and has millions of followers and one dancer that isn't and they're the same talent, who am I going to pick? Yeah, 'cause it's business, right? If I pick that dancer is going to post about, I mean, I think that's part of the reason I'm here too. You know what I mean? And that's why I get hired for a lot of stuff, because they know if I'm teaching on convention, I'm going to be posting with the kids. The kids are going to recognize me. It's going to gain more exposure for the company and businesses. So it's a slow game too. You have to be patient with it. I think it's kind of fun to try to get followers, but I do think it matters,
Yeah.
you know? But it also doesn't. If you have talent and you just can't get there, that's fine, as long as you're posting good stuff. It's
Yeah.
not the only thing that matters, but if you can do it, you can do it.
I think it depends on the project too. Like I saw this one thing from a choreographer that I know, and they were working on a Netflix like Disney thing. So they want people to see it, right? Because your money comes from your streams on Netflix. It wasn't released on TV. It wasn't released anywhere else. So they literally had PowerPoints of, they already casted everyone, so everyone had the job, but they had all their headshots. Then they had their follower count underneath it, and the role that they played in this movie. They were casted, but the more like featured they were depended on their follower count. So they had their like core dancers based on followers, and all the other dancers still were in it, but they were ensemble. They were further in the back, and the people that had the bigger following were pushed more to the front, more featured, more camera time. So it depends on the project.
Yeah, I completely agree. Also, there's a lot of like ambassador things going on with different companies. Who do they look for to be ambassadors? Kids with followings. Yeah, so other kids can see it and then want to get involved to it. Yeah. Question?
Is you can buy followers. Is that I've heard about it. I'm like, is that
Yeah.
a thing where you could buy?
There is a thing that you can buy followers. I haven't heard of it as much nowadays. I feel like when Instagram first came out, it was a big thing. You can buy followers, you can buy likes, but then people realized that people were just doing that and just buying a bunch of stuff. So your profile can get shadow banned. So you won't gain any actual real followers. I don't think followers is about the number. Like, if you buy a bunch of followers, they're all going to be bots. You want to have followers that are engaged and interested in you and can provide you opportunity. So if you have 1 million bot followers, you're not going to get anything from it, right? And then if you bought those followers and then let's say, oh, you got a brand deal. Someone wants to use a product in a video, make a little dance video. That video is not going to do well because all your followers are bought. You're going to get no engagement on it. And I also think there's ways now online to test to see if people buy followers. Yeah.
I think also Instagram goes and like cleans them out every once in a while. Like you'll see like all the they clean out the bot accounts so people's following will drop, and then that don't think that looks very good either.
Yeah, I noticed a trend in Instagram like a couple years ago. Like I think it was during COVID because everything was shut down and no one really knew what to do. noticed my following went down like 20 people one day. And I was like, wait, what the heck? And then I was like, oh, those are probably just like random bot accounts that had followed me and I just didn't notice them before. So almost feel like buying followers would hinder you because you'll be at a job or a booking or a casting and they'll see that you have all of these followers and then they'll look at your account like maybe a week later and then those followers are gone because Instagram took them all off. So I just don't think it's worth it personally.
Yes, in the back.
You know, just, and I'm constantly just getting rid of and blocking and blocking. She gets so frustrated because, you know, one day she'll get like 15 followers and then I delete half of them, you know. And what do you do in a situation like that? Like you're just
Yeah, so number one with kids, it's safety, right? Social media can be tough because you don't know who's watching your kids, especially in your dance clothes and stuff. So I think that is completely fine to monitor it, get rid of things that you feel like is unsafe, just as long as you're constantly checking that. If you're getting rid of followers and the kids want more, tell them to connect with more. Look how many hundreds of kids do we have here? Your kid could go around, it might be annoying, but be like, hey, what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram? What's your Instagram? Boom, 50 followers just from today, and those are going to be actual real followers that they can engage with. So keep it safe. When it comes to public and private profiles, I know a lot of us with kids, we like to keep it private, but a casting director or your agents can't see that, can't send it. You can't get that organic reach that you would otherwise. So I would recommend keeping it public, but keeping the content on there safe and just understanding that anyone can view this. So being conscious and smart of, do I want to post this of my kid knowing that anyone can view it?
Yeah. I would also say, like, even for car, like, I help manage car, ultra, rainbow accounts, and when we're trying to post a solo or a group dance or something, we always want to make it as engaging and as possible. So if we know the kid, or even we have all the information, we have their studio, we have their name and everything. So a lot of times if I'm posting a solo, I'll look up the name on Instagram and I'll try and do a collab post with the kid and the account with car. And Car has almost 200K followers. So you would get good reach from collabing your post, which basically means it'll say Dance Car and Kristin Farina. So now it'll be on both of our pages, and all the comments and views that come from Car will also go to her account. And so now they can easily just click on it and it goes straight to them and they can say, oh, Kristin's really good. I want to follow Kristin, you know? So if you have a private account, or if your kid's account is Dancer Girl 767, I'm not going to be able to find it because I'm looking up Kristin Farina.
So when it comes to names, I know we got a lot of little ones that are Sparkly Cupcake 5678. She cute, but follow. Okay. Hi, Pony. But my Instagram's just my name, @Kristin Farina. Easiest for people to find when they look it up. Sometimes it's taken, then the Kristin Farina, Kristin.Farina, Kristin Farina 1, Kristin Farina Dancer. Like there's ways to get around it. I like to keep it just my name, a little bit more professional. And I think your kids, even though they don't realize it now, they will thank you in the future. Because so many weird sounds. You know, because you don't want just like random names that carry on to your future. Yes, in the back.
my daughter has like a private account with like friends that she posts more personal type stuff, and then the dance account separate. Is that a good idea?
That's completely I'm okay with that. Having a private account that's more life stuff, family, dogs, vacations, and then having more of a professional page, and then eventually I would say as they get older just transferring to their professional page. Yeah. Also, I think we should a little bit less about social media, but I think it's really important. It still ties in, but As parents, I just started a company recently because I was the type of dancer. I grew up in Wisconsin, didn't really have much, super small town, but I saw through social media all of these amazing kids and stuff, and I wanted to be like them. But I feel like there are so many different components that I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to dance because I don't think it's just talent. There's a lot that goes behind it. I think mindset and your dancer's mental health is super, super important. And social media does have an effect on that. You know, them seeing all these kids succeeding, or they're pretty, or they have all these nice things. I think it can get really tough, and a lot of kids shy away from posting because of that. But also, like, reminding them that it's not about being the best, it's about the journey too. I love having videos of myself when I was little dancing bad because it shows the growth along the way. So, also helping your kids kind of switch their mindset to a growth mindset and seeing the big picture and that how you can evolve over time with it, and just posting and not caring what people think. Being able to post, and I don't care if it gets any views or any likes, but I posted it and I think I look good, and if I get one random comment, that's going to make my day. So I think also having that conversation with them, um, it's also going to help them in the future as a professional with rejection and failure, because there's a lot of that in dance. So just making sure your kids are in the right headspace and, you know, just doing well in that area. I think that's really important. A little keynote. Any other questions? Yes.
You had said that you recommend putting email and phone number on those Instagram.
I wouldn't do phone.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I'm a little worried. What for our younger kids? How do we protect them?
Not phone number. I would just do email, and I would do a parent email. Or just like make like a little business email that's just for them. Because who knows, a brand could reach out and they could get a brand deal, even if it's $50 per post, and boom, put it in the college fund, right? Yeah, I would not do phone because you're gonna get hit up with that.
Would you guys be interested if we posted in that Hollywood Dance Experience parent page, like, hey, drop your dancer's Instagram below in the comments, and then you guys could all drop your dancer's Instagram and go ahead and follow everyone on that? Okay, cool. We'll go ahead and post that later today, or maybe in the morning. So then you can just start dropping your dancers' Instagrams in there. Go ahead and follow everyone in the comments, because connecting all of these dancers from New York, Alabama, California, Arizona, Detroit, Wisconsin, that's only going to build that unit. Maybe they're going to move to LA or New York and they're looking for a roommate. Yeah, now they have a friend. Now they have someone to go and take class with, so it's not as scary going to their first class at Broadway Dance Center. So we'll do that. We'll post that later today.
Yeah, that really is important, keeping those connections, because like as your kids get older, they're gonna be maybe even you flew out for this by yourself. If they see a kid that they know in class and that they connect with, it's gonna make the experience so much better. And I love the dance industry because it really is such a community. You know, we're dancers. It's small once you're really in it, but the thing that can keep us together, no matter where we live, is social media. I mean, I didn't see Nurka for like 5 years, and we come back, like, we've been updated with each other's lives, you know, the whole time. So I think that's awesome that we have that community. Any other questions? And it can be about anything. Any questions that you may have, whether it's college, professional world, jobs. Yes.
Sometimes in the audition process, like you said, it's not always the talent in the room. Sometimes it can be your look. Right? Yeah. Just the way you look can sometimes get you the gig. Mm-hmm. What are your recommendations on, like, if your child is like maybe not, they're auditioning a lot, but maybe they're not getting the gig, change the hair color, give it a cut, or I was told by a dancer, like, she auditioned all the time, didn't get gig, she cut all her hair off and dyed it blonde. And she's my skin color. As soon as she did that, same talent, she showed up to all these auditions, she started getting picked. So sometimes it could just be the look.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
It's a real thing. Looks aren't everything. You also have to know going into it, the casting directors know exactly what they're looking for. If they're typecasting, sometimes there's nothing you can do. You guys, I went to an audition out here. It was probably like 4 years ago. I think it was Nicki Minaj or something. I'm not kidding. First of all, I'm not really like, I look young, right? I look like I should be in the teen room taking class right now. So I've never really I know people think I'm a child. I'm 25. Hey, not bad. But yeah, I'm young. But I went to this audition, right? I'm not really that like LA is very like heels, sexy when you get older. I walked into this Nicki Minaj audition. We didn't learn any dancing. They had us line up. They had us turn around. And they went down the line. And they said
It's
they
true.
said thank you, stay. Thank you, stay. And I just walked out of there. You know, I didn't have what they were looking for. I mean, I think it's great back there, but it wasn't what they were looking for. So I started going to the gym, doing some squats. Coming for you. I'm gonna book that.
It really
It's
it
a real
happens
thing.
like that
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's
I
real.
was at a Nicki Minaj audition about 8 years ago, and they did the same thing. And then I heard that the rest of the
still doing it.
audition was all about that across the floor. So I'm almost glad I didn't get picked for that.
Yeah, so
just making it past that.
I think we're doing good. I've got a great personality. But I don't think you can avoid that. You can try switching it up, like how she dyed her hair. I think it's important to like have kids find their own unique style. Don't let them like go crazy with it, but you know, have something that's gonna stand out. Always look professional. Don't look like you just woke up. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. Do we have any more questions? Yeah.
Like as far as you guys typecasting in different arenas, does that put pressure on you as a dancer trying to fit that mold of that cast? Or you just try to go out and do your best self?
Yeah, I feel like when I first moved to LA, I said it took me 2.5 years to book a job. I was like, why am I not booking? Is it just me? Is it the way I look? A lot of things go through your head, but you have to get over that and understand, like, now I show up, I'm like, hey, this is what you get. Take it or leave it. You want it, I don't care. So that's where the mindset thing in training young dancers is super, super important. Having them understand that it's not that they're bad or not talented or they will never be good enough. That's just not the right place, the right time, the right audition for them. And that's really hard for kids to understand. I've been there. I think dance is a super tough industry to be in because it's not about like a sport or anything. It's literally us and our body. And when you get rejected or don't get that audition or you're in the back line of a group dance, it'll get to you. But starting to train kids to have that mentality of it's okay and it's not because I suck and I'm never going to be good enough.
Yeah.
You know?
I think a lot of the times it's not even controllable things. Like my feedback would always just be, you're really short. You don't have an opposite, right? So on stage, they want the artist center. And if you look too much like the artist, you know, like I can't dance for Ariana Grande. We're the same height. We're both like brown hair. You know, that's why she has either really tall girls that have shaved heads and blonde or red hair or all men, you know, because they don't want anyone that looks like her, you know? So a lot of times, yeah, that would always be my feedback. Like, we love you, but we don't know where to put you. Or we have 3 people who direct booked the job, which means the choreographer just said, hey, we're going to hire you. And they're looking for 3 people to be their opposite. So, or if they already have a blonde on the job, they don't need another blonde girl. So just because they dismiss all the blonde girls doesn't mean that those girls weren't good. It's just you can't even control and you don't even know what they're looking for. A lot of the times they might not even tell you. They'll just say, yeah, get in the line. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. And they don't say, like, by the way, this is what we're looking for. You know, so a lot of the time you can't control it. So you just kind of have to go with it. And like she said, just show up and this is what I have to offer. This is what we're rolling with. Either it works or it doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
This year, with Taylor Swift's tour, she finally, you'll notice if you've seen any photos or videos from her tour, she has some blonde dancers. That wasn't the case about 9 years ago when she was hiring for her 1989 tour or her Red tour, they didn't want blondes at that time. They would make cuts at a certain point, and then her mom would come in the room. And they'd want to cut the blondes before her mom got there, because at that time, you weren't a blonde dancer dancing for Taylor Swift. So I would write on my resume. I don't know if anyone does this anymore. I've been out of the industry for a couple years now. But I would write on my resume, will dye my hair any color you want. If I'm good enough, if I'm what you want, I will do anything to be this for you. And I even took headshots in wigs too, because I was like, this is how I look with brown hair. This is how I look with red hair. If you want me for this job, I will do what I need to be that. I mean, unfortunately, that wasn't my path, what I was going to be, but just keeping that in mind too.
Hey, side note, when me, you know what I'm gonna say. When me and Nurka were working together, I went to her apartment one night. We were hanging out. She's like, "Let me give you highlights." I'm like, "Yes, girl, let's do it."
It was a bad idea.
I
Do
had
not ever
orange.
think you can dye your friend's hair at your house. It's expensive, but put in the
was so
money,
bad.
put in the time to go and get it done at a professional
It's
hair
okay.
salon.
It's
We've
okay.
come a long way.
Yeah, we really have. I
Don't
just
ever
had
take
to throw you
bleach
under the
to your
bus.
own hair.
Yeah. I was like, I have to quit this company.
She's like, I'm
What are
gonna.
they doing to me?
Yeah. It was a scary time for us. We learned that we don't like bleach.
I love bleach. Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
No, and Nurka's a good person. She gave me money to go get it done professionally.
That's how you keep your friends.
Yes. Any other questions about anything at all? No? Yeah? You want to wrap it up? Are we good? Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes, I was just gonna say, like, for our young dancers, what is some advice that you would give them? Like, so all of us in the room, like, just want, like, a few words, like, for us to just tell them something encouraging, you know? You're still young, you think, you know, really are. But, what is something that you think, like, that we can tell them to kind of break them out of their shell, or give them a little bit of more confidence or push, you know, to just know, like, you know, it's out there. This is
Absolutely. Cliche, but the best thing to do as a dancer is to be yourself. A lot of us are in this because we love it. It's what keeps us up at night. It's the only thing that we want to do. I would not be able to be a professional dancer in the industry with all the stuff that I have to put up with if I didn't love it. It's hard on our bodies. You're not making millions of dollars unless you post on social media. Hey. But what matters is that you love it, and you have to understand that you are enough and you have a spot in the industry even if you can't see it right now. You have to show up. You have to be authentic to yourself. You have to train hard. You have to give your everything for it. If you don't get a job, you got to keep moving. And I truly believe if you stick at one thing, no matter what it is, and you do it consistently over and over again, there's no way you are going to be unsuccessful, no matter what it is, whether it's business, even for you guys. If there's something you love and you want a career in it, you got to put the time in, and you're going to eventually get what you want. It could be right away and you have your breakthrough. It could take you 20 years to get it. But as long as you keep going at it, you're eventually going to reach it, because a lot of people give up. Yeah, so just keep going. Never do anything you don't want. Like, I was like, I can't have a regular job. I want to dance. And I did everything I possibly could to make it happen. There wasn't a plan B. My parents were always like, what's the plan B? Why aren't you going to school? I'm like, no, this is what I want, and I'm not going to give up. And I haven't till this day. I'm done.
Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for inspiring the parents. Thank you for inspiring the kids in the classes. If they want to follow your journey, where can they find you?
Everywhere. at Kristin Farina on every single social media platform. It'd be hypocritical if I didn't. I'm like, oh, I don't have social media. Yeah, at Kristin Farina, it's just my name. You can find it through even Hollywood Dance Experience. Just search my name through there. Have your kids stay connected with me. I always love connecting with the kids. If a kid has a question and DMs me, maybe a senior, like, hey, I'm thinking about should I go into the industry or school or New York or LA. I want to help these kids grow, and it's a community. So find me on there. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for having me. I love doing this. The kids are amazing, but I love the parents. You guys are the ones that make it happen. So thank you for being